Hi, and welcome to Real Life with Jenny. My name's Jenny Senaparatna. Grab your favorite drink and a snack, and we will get started. Today, I have a piece of toast with jelly, and I have some black tea. So let's get real. I'm going to get real about the snack. The snack is actually a piece of semi burnt toast from the hotel that I could not figure out how to get the toasters to work this morning. You know, when you're dealing with someone else's toaster, you have the toaster at home just the way you want it. And then you go into a hotel and you cannot figure out the settings. And so here I am with my burnt toast. But I do have strawberry jam, so really it's okay. Like, we're good. And I have the tea from the hotel that I'm not 100% sure what kind of tea it is, but it was free. So here we are. That is what it's all about. So I am currently on the road, as you can tell, because I'm in the hotel room, and we are in kind of a marathon mode, going from district council in our denomination, from kind of talking to pastors. So we're going to these conferences that all the pastors are at, meeting them, encouraging them, and trying to see if they're willing to let us come speak at their church. That's just kind of what it boils down to. So we're in a marathon season right now where we really haven't been home for a while. And that's great. Currently, my daughter is at home with my mother. So she's with grandma this week because she had a lot to do. And we thought it's easier for her to be with grandma than try to do it all on the road. I actually put up on Facebook, I think it was a little bit ago, a picture of us at a hotel, and my daughter's laying on one of the beds playing her piano because she's a piano player and she doesn't like to miss her time to practice, and my husband's in the background juggling. You know, you're trying to be in a very small contained room and continue life as normal, and it is not easy. It's not easy. And so you have to get super creative on how to live life when you're on the road. You know, like the simple thing of making sure you have bottled water. So we go to Walmart, we buy one of the huge bottled waters, so we always have water, and we don't need to worry about buying it at the gas station for triple the amount of money. And I bring apples and oranges, so then we have fruit and vegetable. Well, we can't bring vegetables. I've tried, it does not work. But we have fruit, cheese sticks, things like that, and make sure we get a hotel room that at least has a small, teeny refrigerator, and most of them do now. We have a very unique lifestyle right now, being on the road, even when we are not in this marathon season. We're on the road almost every weekend. Very rarely do we get to speak often and close enough to home that we can stay in our bed and then get there in the morning. We have like a rule. It's really kind of a weird rule, but anything that's 2.5 hours or further away, we stay in a hotel room. First of all, because I am not a great morning person. And it matters on when the church starts. So sometimes if the church starts at 9:30 and we need to leave by 6, it just doesn't work super well to get all three of us out of the house by 6 a.m. and have a good attitude. So we stay in hotel rooms if we're 2.5 hours or further away from the church in the morning. So we're quite often in hotel rooms. So I kind of feel like this is my new world, right? Trying to figure out how to navigate all sharing one bathroom and one bedroom, and really know, sometimes there's a desk, sometimes there's not a desk, all trying to share the same television, and a teenager, a husband and a wife who all have very different interests in what they would like to watch. Sometimes we can veto Kevin and there's a Hallmark TV show on, but most of the time I listen and read a book while they watch something crazy on TV. So it's a very interesting world that we're living in. So not last week, a couple weeks ago, we stayed in one of our regular hotels because we stay in a specific chain. It's at the lower bottom of that specific kind of place, so we can get points. So when we go on vacation, we can go and stay at hotels for free. And so we stay in a specific hotel chain almost every town we go into because they all have this chain. And so we always stay at this pretty low end hotel. And a couple weeks ago, we went into this hotel room, and I kid you not, it smelled like a boys' locker room. Um, that really, it was worse. I've never been in a locker room that was that bad. I've never really been in a lot of boys' locker rooms, but it's what you imagine. Oh, it was bad. And so we opened up the windows and turned on the fan, and I was just like, okay, this is bad. It was not fun for me. And a lot of the hotels, they have a really weird smell, and I'm super sensitive to smell. And so I carry around a lot of ibuprofen and, Tylenol and those kind of things because I'm constantly getting headaches. And, you equip yourself to the best of your ability for what has called you to do. And it is so funny to me because people come up to me all the time and they're like, oh, you live such a glamorous lifestyle. Like, you are always traveling. It is amazing. Like, wow, can you even believe this is your life? And to be honest, no, I can't. I am completely blessed and fortunate that this is our life. But when you start comparing yourself to other people and you really don't know what's actually going on, it's a really bad idea. I have been very tempted to have people come with us and see where we're staying and see if they're willing to stay there too. Because I'm guessing they're like, nah, we'll go up the road. We'll go stay at the other hotel. In fact, last night I almost made Kevin move out of this hotel room. He was like, should we switch rooms or should we switch hotels? And I'm like, we're fine. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's a big deal, but it's not a big deal. Not enough to make a big deal about it. It's really hard. It's a hard lifestyle. And I think that we so often live behind a social media world where everything looks glamorous and glorious. And when you dig deep into someone's life, you realize that they're unhappy and that there's things that they're not showing. No one shows you their dirty house, right? You never see pictures of an open house or a house for sale and it's trashed. Like, that's very, very rare. And very rarely do you see pictures of people's homes with their kids and you see all the toys in the background, right? Normally, you take a picture of the one clean spot that you were able to get, or you take a picture at church where it was clean. Like, you very rarely see pictures of people's messy homes. It's just true. You just don't show those pieces to other people. And so people are very envious of what you have. And when you start living in the world of envy, when you really don't know what God's doing or what kind of lifestyle they're really living like, it can be super dangerous to yourself and to what God's called you to do. So we have friends that also do this. They travel and they stay in nicer hotels, and that's good for them. They have more money than we do. I don't know if they do or not. That's just my assumption, right? My assumption is that they have everything together, and I have no idea if they do or not. And so I'm sometimes very envious, and sometimes I get really like, why can't we do that? Why can't we spend a little bit more money? And of course I know why. God has called us to go to a church of any size, no matter what they can pay. That is who we are as a ministry. We want to be able to go to any church, no matter the size, and say, we're here to bless you, and you're not getting a discounted, we're not coming in and not giving you all of who we are. We love the pastors and their wives and the congregations we get to meet. It is amazing, the doors that we've been able to walk through and the places we've been able to experience because we're willing to go wherever God opens a door. But it is not easy. And so when I start comparing myself to the other family that does this, I can get really angry at where God's called me to. And so for me this week, I just wanted to share my heart because we can get in comparison mode and lose the blessing that God is giving us. Like, I am so fortunate to be able to do this with my family and, be spend as much time as I do with our daughter in the car. Like, she's trapped in the car with us for hours and hours and hours every single week. And this poor teenager is we're able to chat with her about everything in her life, and she's able to chat with everything about our life. And we really feel like we're able to pour into her in a way that we wouldn't be able to if we were all running in different directions. God has been so gracious to us in that area. And then you start comparing other areas to things, and then you're like, oh, but we don't have this and we don't have that, and they do, right? You look at someone else's home and you're like, we could never afford to live in that kind of home. Boy, our home is super crummy. But your home is where God's put you, with the neighbors that He's put you with. You don't know why God has called you there. And you were grateful for what you had until you went to your friend's house, right? Um, I remember years ago, I think my daughter was like 2 or 3, and we went to a friend's house, and they had just bought this gorgeous home. And we live in a trailer, which I absolutely love and treasure. But we went to their home, and it was this brand new place, and they decorated their bathroom. And I walked into their bathroom, and I was like, oh, wow. I cannot imagine, because at this point in our house, we had not painted a single wall. Every wall in our house was still white. I'm scared to death to paint. I don't know why. It's not expensive and it's not difficult. I just get really freaked out about it because it has to be right. And they decorated this bathroom. I just walked in and I was like, can I just live in this bathroom? Like, it was just so beautiful. And so I went home and I was like, Kev, we have to paint our bathroom. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, we've been living in this house for 10 years and you've never wanted to paint anything. I said, I know, but did you see their bathroom? We need to decorate our bathroom. And he was like, okay, we can paint the bathroom. Like, that's fine. But I had lost the joy of what I already had. I had lost. Now, yes, we did end up painting the bathroom. I have not painted it since. It is cute and adorable. I think we made it into like something. At first, we made it into like Tinkerbell because she was little, and now Tinkerbell's gone because we put stickers up. And now it's just a regular like teal bathroom. So it's fine. But I had lost the joy of my home because I compared it to somebody else's. What in your life have you lost the joy of because you've compared it to somebody else's? I know a lot of people are like, oh, wow, Jenny and Kevin have it all together. And there's where the laughter starts. Like, I do not have it all together. I have no idea what we're doing from day to day. God is gracious. But when you compare your life to somebody else's, you lose the joy of what God has called you to do. You lose the joy of the contentment of where God has placed you at work, with your children, with your church. I mean, could I start going down the list? Absolutely. You always want to have the money someone else has, but you don't know if that's real money or credit, right? You just have no idea. You have no idea what's behind those closed doors. So this week, I would really encourage you, and I'm encouraging myself, to stop looking around and comparing yourself to everybody else and start being grateful that God has called you to what He's called you to and what He's given you. Well, that's all I have for this week. You can find us at Real Life with Jenny on Instagram and on Facebook, or you can find us at christconnection.cc/Jen. All of my information's there. I would love to connect with you and see how things are going in your life, especially as you look up and see in the midst of the craziness of your life. Look up and see what God has done. Look where God has brought you and know He's got a plan, right? He's got a plan for you. And it's not the plan that He has for your neighbors. And it's not a plan that He has for your siblings or your, best friends. It's not the same. God's called you to something different and something unique. And be grateful for where He's brought you.